Senkadagala, a major tourist attraction as a World Heritage Site, is a great city which marks a turning point in the hallowed history of Sri Lanka. It is the last kingdom of the land, as documented in Rajavaliya. The crest of the pinnacle, after all, is the acclaimed Temple of Tooth that is housed in Senkadagala, now known as Kandy, which is most precious for Buddhists. Kandy is recognized as the cultural capital of Sri Lanka. With several ancient and old buildings and other structures in possession and inherited from the Sinhala kings and the British colonial rulers, Kandy radiates a unique personality. The National Physical Plan of 2013 identified Kandy for investment as a main strategic city. Congestion is a fact of life in Kandy city, which is poised to seriously constrain its great potential to stimulate prosperity and livability in the city and the associated region. At present, the daily bus passenger volume for both directions exceed 330,000, while the number of buses moving in and out of the city is about 10,000. Probably this situation and related impacts will be further aggravated in the context of increasing urbanization and settlements with urban-like characteristics in the region. In such a setting, the goods shed bus stand that you see here has been operating in a manner that is not at all consistent with the features expected from a central bus stand in a World Heritage Site. Too many buses parked in too small space, risks to passenger safety, deficiencies in basic amenities, inadequate sanitation facilities, loud noise, dust and smoke competing with each other to make a negative public image of the goods shed bus stand. This unsatisfactory situation concomitantly created the conditions for the government of Sri Lanka to find durable solutions in terms of upgrading transport services, relieving traffic congestion, and improving quality of public transport services. In consequence thereof, the government through the Ministry of Urban Development and Housing initiated a process with the assistance from the World Bank to develop a plan for strategic transport system development. The principal objective of this project was to relieve traffic congestion in Kandy city. The plan thus developed reflected a key decision to transform the goods shed bus stand in terms of a model of multimodal transport terminus, where all public transport services will be centrally coordinated and independently managed.
The Strategic Cities Development Project is a government initiative under the Ministry of Urban Development and Housing with Sri Lanka's urban vision to develop the secondary cities as a system of competitive. The project was established in the year of 2014 and worked with Kandy, Gold and Jaffna cities with financial assistance from the World Bank. Total amount of the World Bank fund is US$ 250 million allocated for these 3 towns.
Designing a plan which will ensure minimum or no adverse impacts on the people whose livelihoods are dependent on the market established around the bus stand, their families, the business community, the environment and the connected local social relations and cultures presented the greatest challenge for the planners.
In this social assessment, which we conducted using university undergraduates and graduates in collaboration with SCDP, we actually surveyed them using a structured questionnaire, and also we conducted focus group discussions to establish the impact of the project on them.
Upfront identification, enumeration and assessment of the likely impacts and the affected individuals and groups accurately and completely. The formulation of mitigation measures, including reasonable compensation for losses incurred, were recognized as key to the unhampered implementation of the project. Recognizing the crucial importance of addressing social impacts, the project-specific resettlement action plan was formulated in consultation with the affected persons and the stakeholders. Because of this development project, the business persons, mostly with no land ownership rights, were poised to lose livelihood forever. They are not sufficiently covered in the Land Acquisition Act and the regulations to avail themselves of the full range of assistance for livelihood restoration. In the circumstances, clearly there was a strong need for a procedure for social safeguards management.
The overall objective of this social safeguard program is to help the affected person to restore or improve their livelihood to the level that they were benefiting prior to their displacement. It's not an easy task, but a great challenge for us. Therefore, the project team is always guiding and assisting the affected persons to invest their compensation money for their well-being.
Driven by this motivation, the project succeeded in designing and implementing a project-specific program of social safeguards management, aligned with the National Involuntary Resettlement Policy and the World Bank's environmental and social standards. Towards facilitating and implementing the process of social safeguards management, the project established a dedicated unit staffed with social scientists experienced in land acquisition and resettlement at an early stage of the project implementation. Among the implementation achievements are implementing an effective communication process, mapping the project impact area based on the social information gathered from the affected persons, conducting census of the project impact area within the stipulated period and assess project-related social impacts. Stakeholder engagement and participation in the resettlement process secured through consultation discussion and dialogue with the affected persons. Formulation of a package of entitlements to pay compensation and provide other assistance for the affected households and businesses. Establishment of a project-specific entitlement assessment committee. Systematic implementation of a program for payment of compensation, and ensure that physical displacement follows completion of prompt and effective payment. Implementation of a formal, multi-tiered grievance redress mechanism, which functions at the local and divisional levels, with recourse to a national level committee for appeal. Granting special benefits and assistance to address issues of vulnerability due to old age, infirmity, illness and gender, and provision of opportunities to empower them. Monitoring the performance of individual efforts at livelihood restoration and improvement following compensation. Coordination with Kandy Municipal Council, Divisional Secretariat and other partner agencies throughout the entire program process. To designing a scheme for granting compensation and other benefits, the affected persons, 841 in all, were categorized into 5 groups comprising of shop owners, entrepreneurs, sales assistants, mobile vendors, 3-wheel operators. Accordingly, a formal procedure that is transparent and accountable was adopted to pay compensation and other benefits and assistance. This process was marked by several special features, which included preparation of resettlement action plan and obtain endorsement of the World Bank that finances the project, obtaining approval of the Cabinet of Ministers for the establishment of Entitlement Assessment Committee and Entitlement Matrix, guidance and facilitation to develop formal business plans in respect of livelihood restoration. The Social Safeguards Program, implemented as part of Kandy Multimodal Transport Terminus project, stands out predominantly due to demonstrated effectiveness and feasibility of several activities that it carried out under challenging circumstances. Creation of an information cell near the project site that operates daily and is dedicated to dissemination of information, maintaining close and frequent contacts with the affected persons, and ensuring availability of project officers on site to find joint solutions to their problems. Accord due respect to the affected persons and maintain their dignity while intervening to find prompt solutions to their problems. Convening interactive community sessions aimed at problem solving. Reaching the hearts and minds of the affected persons through a program of social safeguards. As a result of implementing social safeguards, the project has paid 650 million rupees among 841 business persons whose livelihoods are affected due to the project. The business community, on the other hand, has vacated their business structures and places. They are making progress in alternative livelihoods of their choice elsewhere. On the ground, there are many examples that provide evidence to the effect that the economically displaced households are gradually but steadily making it through to the goal.
මම ගුඩ්ෂෙට් එකේ බිස්නස් කරගෙන හිටියේ පොඩි ඉඩ කෑල්ලක. ඊට පස්සේ මගේ දිහා ආවිල්ලා බලලා මට බිස්නස් කරන ඉඩත් මදි එතන හිර වෙලා පොඩ්ඩක් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් තමයි කරගෙන හිටියේ. ඊට පස්සේ මට ගුඩ්ෂෙට් ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකේ ලොකු වන්දියක් හම්බුණා. ඒ සල්ලි අරගෙන ආවිල්ලා මම මෙතන ලොකුවට දාලා බිස්නස් එකක් කරගෙන ලස්සනට බඩු දාලා හොඳට වෙළඳාමකුත් වෙනවා. හොඳ ලස්සනට කරගෙන යනවා. තිබ්බට වැඩි දියුණු වෙනවා දවසෙන් දවසට.
Evident in this social safeguards program are contributory factors of success, including but not limited to the process monitoring and guidance from the World Bank.
මායි මගේ මහත්තයයි කඩ 11ක් කඩ කාමර 11ක් කරා අපිට වන්දි ලබා දීලා ඒ මහත්තුරු අද වෙනකන් අපේ පිටිපස්සෙන් ඉඳගෙන අපේ විදියුණුව ගැන සොයා බලලා අපි ගැන මේ තව වෙනතුරු මෙවුවා වෙන ඒ වයින් අපි මහනුවර හයි ස්කූල් ඉස්කෝල ළඟ හෝටලයක් කරගෙන යනවා. ඒ හෝටලේ සමග අපි කරෝල වෙනදාමකුත් මායි මගේ මහත්තයයි කරගෙන යනවා.
ව්‍යාපෘතියේ හේතුවෙන් ඉතින් පාර වැහෙනවා කියලා අපිට කලින් මීට මේ මාස 7කට විතර පෙර දැනුම් දුන්නා. අම්මගේ ඔප්පුව නම් මනම් කොහොම පැහැදිලිවම අපි මේකට ව්‍යාපෘති ඉදිරිපත් කරා. ඉදිරිපත් කරලා ෆයිල් එක බාර දෙන්න එක දවසක් ගියා. ආයි චෙක් එක ගන්න එක දවසක් ගියා. ඉච්චරයි යතිම් මල්ලකොට අපිට ලොකු සේවයක් වුණා ඒ මුදල ලැබිච්ච මුදල.
Treading through a path marked by these features to mitigate social impacts, the SCDP, through its Social Safeguards Management Program, presents conclusive evidence of how to ensure that all affected persons and businesses are equitably and fairly compensated for the losses caused by the project, and supported through to achieving living standards similar or better than what they had before the project.